اوكي باقي 5 دقائق. احنا نحب نبتدي على الوقت، فان شاء الله راح نبتدي على الوقت بالضبط.
اوكي كول
ان شاء الله. مريم، شفتي شفتي اللي اعطيتك اياه؟
يس.
ايوه، في بس تغيير بسيط حطيته في النهايه.
The updated one, yes. It's about the announcement. صح؟
Yes.
Okay.
طبعا operating will be from my side. I'll be controlling يعني admitting,
Yes.
audio on, audio off to be all from my side. All you have to do is just present from your side. That's it.
Okay.
Just keep it for me. Yes. بس الحين log out from the web page. Log out from the web page. إذا أنت فاتح الويب بيج فيها اعتذر بس شكلي كنت ناسية ما حطيت نفسي ميوت. اوكي، ننتظر بعد كمان 3 دقائق وان شاء الله نبتدي. Unmuted.
Someone is trying to enter.
Yes, which I allowed. I admitted him.
Okay, cool.
زي ما قلت لك collaboration will be from my side إن شاء الله. راح أكون حاضر مرة as an operator. Oh, give me a...
Let's see if is the camera better this way. Is it better this way?
وعليكم السلام، مرحبا، نرحب فيكم من الدوحة أجمعين. يا AM وأحمد، مرحبا. مرحبتين بيسابونيو نوال، مرحبتين أيضا. As I was just mentioning that we will start exactly at 6 sharp. So دائما نذكركم please keep your video and audio off. Okay, I think just 1 minute left.
Okay.
We will start. الحمد لله في حضور اليوم، نرحب فيهم أجمعين إن شاء الله. There's no sound. Okay. How to admit.
Should we start now?
I think yes, or should we wait one more minute? I don't know. We can start now if you would like to.
Okay. Everyone, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. I can see it.
Okay, cool. Let's just see. We have
Ask Maryam. Can everyone hear us? Is the sound clear for you?
sorry.
Excellent, excellent. Very good, very good. Okay, Maryam, I think you can start.
Okay, let's start. Hello, everybody. This is Miriam, and we welcome you to the English Skills for Business English session, which is provided by Asas Language Center, licensed by Ministry of Education and Higher Education in the state of Qatar. So, as it is considered among our ingoing community contributions to the interesting and solid language foundation that our students aspire to achieve their dreams and future ambitions. We thank you for your commitment to the instructions during the session. Please do not turn on your audio, and you can ask questions by raising your hand through the raising hand button or through the chat box in the conversation box. And for today, we would like to introduce you Dr. Hiba. She is an English language and linguistics teacher. She has a PhD in English language and linguistics. She has more than 20 years of experience teaching English in the Middle East and USA. And from now, she will be taking the lead. So, Dr. Hiba, it's your turn.
Thank you, Mariam. Thank you very much, Mariam, and thank you for this present introduction.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I'm going to share my screen here.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Hiba Hamouda, and I'm pleased to be with you this evening for a training session, an orientation session on English for business. Now, as a very brief start, I want you to also abide to the instructions that Mariam has just stated. If you need to ask a question, raise your hand, or you can simply type in your question in the chat box. Now, let's start, first of all, by asking what is English for business? What is this course? What is the English for business course? Now, this is simply a course that is made up of 3 levels. So it's a 3-level course. It is covered by over 3 books, and it simply provides you with everything you need to know and to use in the world of English for business, in the field of business using the English language. We all know that Qatar is a hub for international business. There are many international corporations working here, and there are people who come from various nationalities and various cultural backgrounds who come to Qatar to work here. So, of course, the language of communication between all those people is, of course, the English language. And for you to be efficient at your work, especially if you're working in the business field, it's very important you are able to use your English language correctly in the field of business. Because when we talk about ESP, this is English for specific purposes. It means that if I'm working in a particular field, there are certain linguistic features, certain linguistic registers that apply to this field. So this is simply what we're going to do over these 3 courses of English for business. So we start by very basic topics such as greetings, of course, in a business context, speaking about qualifications, product details, and we go on to cover more and much more advanced topics such as the meeting etiquette, because if you're in a meeting, in a business meeting or formal meeting, there are certain things that you have to follow, certain protocols, certain etiquette to sound professional. And of course, we talk about company culture, team building, global economy, as well as other topics all related to the business. Now, first of all, we start by level 1. Level 1 is covered by book 1, because as I said, this is a course which is covered by 3 books. Level 1 is book 1, level 2 is book 2, and level 3 is book 3. Book 1 is a 15-hour course. Actually, it contains 15 units that are all focused on basic and important concepts that are relevant to the field of business. And as we're doing this, we're going to do this in the form of a workshop where you'll have the chance to practice your 4 language skills: the reading, the listening, the writing, and speaking. Okay. Now, is this clear so far? Are there any questions before I proceed? I see here any questions. Okay, let's see. Okay.
Okay, so Mujahid is asking if...
Mariam, I cannot see the chat box. The chat box has disappeared from here. I don't see any questions. I don't have the chat box here.
Interesting, but I think Mujahid is just asking if Dr. Hiba could, if you could raise your voice a little bit.
Sure, I sure will. Sorry, I don't know. Just a minute, we need to address this problem here. I don't know why the chat. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, sure, I will raise my voice. Okay, great. So, as I said, like this is a 3-level courses. It's a 3-level course. It is made up of 3 courses: level 1, level 2, and level 3. And today is gonna start. We're gonna start together with level 1, and this is book 1 actually. Now, yeah. So in this lesson, this is simply an outline of the lesson, a summary of what we're going to do today. Unit 1 is about greetings and goodbyes. And when we talk about greetings and goodbyes in the field of business, we don't talk about greeting a friend, because when you greet someone who is your partner in business, someone who works as a manager in a different company or whatever, it's different from when you greet someone who's your friend, someone who's your relative or your family. So this has to be done again in a professional way. So as we do this, we're going to know some general vocabulary items, some specific vocabulary items that are specific to the field of business, and specifically greetings and goodbyes in the field of business, and giving advice, how to give advice again in a professional way, and how to use your language to greet people in the way that is appropriate to them, because people come from different cultures, and according to their cultures, you need to address them in a way that works with their culture, that suits their culture. And we also see how we can look at the text to find general information, which we call skimming, and how to look for specific information, which we call scanning. And after that, we're going to summarize what we will cover today. Of course, I know that you don't have the book today, so what we will do is that I've got you this part. It is part from the book. I put it on the screen. This is the first thing, which is the reading. But before we start this together, I need to... What do you do when you meet people for the first time? What do you do when you meet people for the first time? Let us see here. Okay. Okay. Now, I was asking, when you meet someone for the first time, what do you do? Like, first thing when you meet someone for the first time, what do you do? Are there any hands up? I need someone to volunteer. So when you meet someone for the very first time, what do you do?
Okay, so we have Tahani and we have Abdullah. They would like to participate.
Okay, we'll start with Tahani. Go ahead, Tahani, please.
Firstly, we say Assalamu alaikum and we shake hands.
So what is the word you give to? What is the English word?
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Okay, so what do we call with this process? What to meet someone, to say hi, to say hello, to shake hands? What do we call this? This is called what?
Greeting.
Greeting. Very good. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No, thank you.
Abdullah, you want to say something, Abdullah? Please go ahead. Abdullah, could you hear me? Hello?
Abdullah, can you please unmute so we can hear your voice?
Okay. When you, Abdullah Jibril from Libya, when you meet someone first time, you introduce yourself to him. And you have, introduce yourself to him. And you can say hello or something like this, I think.
Okay, so you introduce yourself, but actually before you introduce yourself, because of course it is very important to introduce yourself when you meet someone, but before introducing yourself, you greet them. You say hello, you say hi, right? You can, when you meet someone, you need to say like good morning, good afternoon, hello, whatever, and then you say who you are, right? You don't start by saying who you are. Like, it's very important, of course, that you introduce yourself. But before you introduce yourself, you greet first. This is what we call by the greeting. Okay, Abdullah, since you are from Libya, could you tell me, Abdullah, how do people greet each other in Libya when you meet someone? Okay, especially if you haven't seen that person for a long time. How do you greet in Libya? What is the greeting etiquette in Libya?
Etiquette in Libya.
Yeah, the greeting.
Assalamu alaikum. In Libya, we have to say Assalamu alaikum. And there is another word, كيف حالك؟ طيب، شنو أخبارك?
Very good.
Like that. Yeah.
Interesting. And
to ask about the situation of the man or woman who you meet in that time.
Very good. So before start, like, because when you start to ask them about how they're doing and all this, like how they feel, this is called like you're starting to socialize. But before that, you greet, like as you said, Assalamu alaikum and whatever. Do you shake hands?
Yes, we shake hands.
Right.
But now this time during coronavirus, most of the people, they afraid and to make themselves in the safe side, not shaking hand a lot.
Yeah, definitely. So this was the greeting before Corona. Now after Corona, people are starting to be more.
Yes, now less people with shaking hand now.
Yeah, they don't, because they don't want to get sick. Thank you so much, Mujahid.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much, Abdullah. Mujahid.
Yes, hello, doctor. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for to give me a chance. I am from Sudan, so I will tell you the culture in our Sudan, how Sudanese greet each other. Yes. If you meet someone in the first time, just you can say hello or good morning, good evening, and then after that you can shake hands. Then after that you can introduce yourself, and he also introduce himself. Then after that you can go through another topic. The ladies or the women, sometimes they kiss each other or hug other. So that's also the same thing. Say hello, good morning. Then after that, kiss each other, and sometimes hug if she know that person very well. From girl, not from men. Then after that, can go through to another topics. This general custom or tradition.
Yeah, thank you. This is very interesting because actually this was something that I was gonna ask about, because especially here in the Arab world, you know, it's a bit conservative. So like people greet each other differently. Like men greet like other men in a way different from when they greet women, right? So for example,
Yes.
if you are another man, as you said, you shake hands. But if you greet a woman, what happens? What do you do in Sudan? If you as a gentleman, you want to greet a woman, what do you do?
In Sudan, if I want to greet from men to women, Okay. So some of them they shake hand, and also they say hello and good morning, good evening, and then after that shake hands. But there is another people didn't shake hand, didn't do that. Just say hello, how are you? From
Hello, I cannot hear. Hello.
yeah, 1 meters or half meter. Hello.
Yeah, the voice was breaking. Your voice went away, Mujahid. Mujahid, could you speak again, please?
I think Mujahid having connections issues. That's why he was not able to hear us well or communicate with us. I think he exited. He signed out.
I guess you need to reconnect again. Now, before we move on, does anyone else has anything to add regarding greetings in different countries? Cannot see any hands up. Okay, so now, since you don't have the book, let's start by this reading passage. I got this from the book, from the first unit of the book. So it's there on the screen. I'm going to read it out loud. And as I read, I want you to follow, because after that, we're going to discuss this together. This is called etiquette. Etiquette, which is what's the meaning of etiquette? Does anybody know what the meaning of etiquette?
If anyone would like to participate, please raise your hands.
I don't see any hands up. So like the etiquette of something is the protocol, the rules, okay, the conventions, the traditional way people do something. And in order for us to do something in the correct way, we need to follow the etiquette, to follow the etiquette of doing this. Okay, so now let's read this. People around the world say hello and goodbye in different ways. In Asia, many people bow when they greet each other. This might seem strange to someone in the Middle East. There, men sometimes greet each other with a kiss on the cheek. In most countries, people shake hands. But in America and Europe, the handshake is firm, while in Asia, it's often soft. So what do you do when you meet people from other countries? Don't let these customs confuse you. Just be polite. When you meet, say pleased to meet you and ask how are you. When it's time to leave, say it was nice meeting you and I hope we meet again. Okay, what is clear? Any questions on this? Okay, who could tell me what is the general idea of this? What is this general idea you got from this? Even if there are words that you could not understand, don't worry. What is the main idea you got from this? When I read this and you were reading with me, what is the general idea? Who could tell me what's the general idea? What does it talk about? Any hands up? Hands up, hands up, hands up.
I think we just...
Anyone who wants to volunteer?
Okay, so there's Tahani. There's Tahani.
Yeah, so yes, Tahani. Go ahead, please, Tahani.
Yeah, there are some words we use at the beginning of the meeting and some words we use at the end of the meeting. So when we meet people for the first time, we say, for example, as you said, it was nice to meet you, or pleased to meet you. And at the end we say, see you soon, or like that.
Okay, thank you, Tahani. So you're saying that the general idea of this passage is that it tells us about ways we greet people. What do we say and what do we do when we meet them at the beginning of the meeting, and what do we say when we are leaving and we're saying goodbye, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tahani. Tahani, could you tell us about yourself? Where are you from, Tahani?
I'm from Palestine.
You're from Palestine. Interesting. Could you tell us about the greeting etiquette in Palestine, Tahani?
It's the same. It's the same as my friend said before. Just we at the beginning we shake hands, say Assalamu alaikum, and of course with smiling on our faces. and at the end we say it's like this. It's nice to meet you and see you soon.
So it's more or less similar to what happens in Libya and in Sudan, like what your colleagues have just said, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So now, again, after looking at this passage, I'm going to leave it here in front of you on the screen. Okay. And I want you to tell me very quickly if there are any words that you could not understand. Like any word you think is new for you and you cannot understand, could you please ask? Very good. So everyone understands, you all know all the words. Very good. Okay, so I will leave this in front of on the screen in front of all of you, and I will ask questions based on this, and I want you to answer those questions. First, I want you to hear, okay, very carefully to the question, and then after that, answer me. Now, first question says, which is not a common way of greeting mentioned in the guide? So like this guide talks about different common ways that people greet each other. But what is something which is not mentioned here? I'm going to read and then you tell me what are the things what are the things that are not mentioned, or what is the thing that is not mentioned in this report? Saying pleased to meet you, or kissing each other's hands, or bowing, or shaking hands. What is the thing which is not mentioned here? Again, to say pleased to meet you, to kiss each other's hands, to bow, or to shake hands. What is the thing which is not mentioned here? Let us see. Yes, Abdullah, could you please answer? Abdullah?
I think to kiss hands.
Exactly, very good. So this is the thing which is not mentioned here. So in this passage, we talk about different ways of greetings. Which is not mentioned is to kiss somebody's hand. This is not mentioned.
Yes. Yes.
Now, second question. What does the guide, which is this etiquette guide, what does it suggest that people react? How does it suggest that people react when they experience a new greeting? So when you experience a new greeting, when you meet someone who greets in a way which is different from what you know, what should you do? Shake hands firmly, be polite, use your best judgment, or follow local customs. Again, when you meet someone who comes from a different culture, who greets people in a different way, in a way that you don't know, in this case, what should you do? Shake hands firmly, be polite, use your best judgment, or follow your local customs. Let us see.
Anyone would like to volunteer and answer?
Volunteers.
Yes.
Yes. So I think Ahmed Zayed has just answered something in the chat box.
Okay, let's see. Ahmed, I would appreciate it if you could talk to a greeting polite. Very good, Ahmed. That's correct. So why don't you speak out loud? Ahmed, could you hear me? Ahmed.
Hear you. Welcome.
Okay. Yeah. Hello, Ahmed. Nice meeting. Nice to have you today. So you said that when you meet someone and who comes from different culture, the correct thing to do is to just be polite, right?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. So why do you think we should do so, Ahmed? Why do you think so? Why did you choose this answer?
Because I am not know the customs of other countries. Culture is very different.
Yes.
Maybe I greeting one person, but the greeting maybe it's it's wrong or not polite greeting.
Very good, Ahmed. This is great. Thank you so much. Exactly, I agree with Ahmed 100% because Ahmed said that. Now, suppose you meet someone who comes from different culture and you don't know how do those people greet each other, especially people who work in the field of business, who are very likely to meet people who come from different cultures every day, and you don't know how do people greet each other in countries all over the world. And at the same time, you need to be respectful. You need to respect those people and respect their customs. So the best thing for you is just to be polite. Act politely. If you're not sure what to do, just act polite. Thank you. Now, another question, what can you guess about people in Saudi Arabia? So we all know Saudi Arabia. So what do you think people there do? I'll give you options and you answer. They use a firm handshake. They say goodbye with a kiss. They don't typically bow when greeting. They have similar customs to Europeans. What do you think people in Saudi Arabia do? Any answer? Would like to answer? Let's check here. Anyone who wants to answer? Hands up. Again, would you like me to read the question again? Now, when you meet someone from Saudi Arabia, what do you think they do to greet each other? They use a firm handshake. They say goodbye with a kiss. They don't typically bow when greeting. They have similar customs to European. What do you think?
Ahmed answered in the chat box, said that shake hands. He said Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, Ahmed, thank you. Now, let's look again at the text together. So now when we look at the text closely, this is called scanning. So far we've been talking about general information. Let's talk about some specific information in this text that is related to greeting. Now, what is the difference between shaking hands in Europe and shaking hands in Asia? Who could tell me what's the difference between shaking hands in Europe and shaking hands in Asia? Hands up, please. Raise up your hands in the. No one. Anyone who?
We have Sardar and we have Noel, Mona. Anybody would like to participate? Farida, anybody?
Oh, guys, come on. This is a very good chance to practice our language and to talk to others and get to meet new people. We're talking about greeting and meeting new people today. So let's go ahead and try to speak out.
Sadiq, I think he unmuted himself. Maybe you would like to participate.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Sadiq. How are you?
Yes, my name is Sadiq. I am from Sudan. I am living here in Qatar. I'm an accountant. So in Europe, I think the shaking hand, it is a little bit light, but in Asia, I think it is longer and firm, more than Europe. I think so.
Well, according to the text here, if you look at this text here, like this is specific information I want you to look for. Now, everybody, all of us, let's look again here.
Yes, in the text, sorry for interruption. In Europe is firm.
Yeah.
Shaking hand is firm in Europe, okay?
Yeah. And Asia?
Yes, in Asia, it is a little bit light.
Very good. Exactly. So this is why we're saying that it's very important to know the culture, because people greet each other in different ways according to their culture. If you're meeting someone who comes from Europe, you need to shake hands firmly with that person. But if you're meeting someone who comes from Asia, from Japan, for example, or China or whatever, you need to make your handshake soft. So it's very important, if you're someone who works in the field of business, to be aware of the culture of the person you're dealing with, because this gives a very positive, a very good impression about you and about your company. Okay, so it's very important. If you happen not to know what to do exactly, as we said, just be polite. Okay. Now let's look at this. Here, those are sentences that we have seen in the reading passage. Now, complete the word of please with the same meaning as the underlined part. So here, in each of those sentences, there is a part which is underlined. So what we're going to do now is we're going to read this sentence and complete those gaps in order to make complete words that make sentences that have a sentence of a similar meaning to this one. So here the manager said, I'm happy to see you. So what is another way of saying I am happy to see you? What do you think we could say here? So those are letters to help you complete the word. So this is one word, another word, a third word, and a fourth word. So what is something which is similar to I'm happy to see you? Let's look at the chat box here.
Yes, Ahmed wrote pleased to meet you.
Yeah, pleased to meet you. Who's answering?
Ahmed answered and Muna unmuted herself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Muna, would you like to say something?
Muna. Okay, so the manager said, I'm happy to see you. Another way of saying I'm happy to see is pleased to meet you. So this is another way of meeting people in a professional context. So when you meet someone, I'm happy to see you. Okay, don't say hi, hello, because like this is a greeting. It's a good greeting, but you use this with your friend, with your family. You don't use it in a work context. You don't use it in the field of business when you are talking with your partnership, with your partner, okay? Or someone who you enter in partnership with, because this has to be formal. So you say, I'm happy to see you or pleased to meet you. Second one, be polite when you meet and say hello to a client. So to meet and say hello, what do we call this? What is the word for this? Hands up. Or does anybody answer in the chat box? Gentle, it's not gentle really. It's the verb. Gentle is an adjective. I want the verb itself. The process of meeting someone and saying hello is to meet someone and to say hello is to do what? To, again, it starts with a G, but it's a verb. To, greeting, yes, Sadiq. So greet, okay, G-R-E-E-T, greet, okay? Thank you. Now, some people kiss on the side of the face. The side of the face. This part, what do we call this part? What do we call it? What's the name of this part of your face? Cheek. Yeah, cheek. Okay, we call it cheek. So check is cheek. C-H-E-E-K. Okay, Sadek, thank you. It was good to see and get to know you. It was good to see and get to know you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Very good. Yeah, nice meeting you. Okay, thank you so much. So, like, all those are different ways of saying the same thing. So it's very important to know how to say things, the same thing in a different way. I'm happy to see you. Pleased to meet you. To say hello means to greet. The side of your face is a cheek, and it was good to see and get to know you. Nice meeting you. Okay? Any questions on this so far? Does anyone have any questions? Let's check. Any questions? Any questions? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, let's move forward. Okay. So now here the most important thing from this part is when you meet someone and when you leave someone. Meeting someone, you say, pleased to meet you. Nice meeting, as we just said. Leaving someone, so at the end you're saying goodbye and you're leaving. It was nice meeting you. Okay? Now, here, this is a second or another part which is also related to the same topic. It's like a conversation between a manager, which is the boss, and a colleague. Okay, and here those people, those two people are talking about the right way to greet others. As we do this exercise, I want you to look at this passage. Of course, we don't have the book, so I cannot play the audio. Instead, I'm going to read this out loud for you. And as you listen, I want you to try to listen for the missing parts. Okay, I'm going to read this in full. And as you listen, I want you to complete the missing part. Okay, I'm going to read this. When you meet Mr. Yakamoto, be very polite. He is a very important client. It is Japanese custom to bow. Should I do that? No, you don't have to bow. Just say, pleased to meet you, and shake hands. Okay. No, you don't have to bow. Again, just say, pleased to meet you, and shake hands. Okay, don't make your handshake too firm. Japanese people usually have a softer handshake. And when he leaves, what then? Just say it was nice meeting you and shake his hand again. Okay, that's fine. Was this clear, or do you want me to read one more time? Was that clear, or read one more time?
It's clear.
Clear. Okay. So now let's go to here to this passage and see what are the missing parts. When you meet Mr. Yakamoto, be very.
Ahmed asked if you can read again.
Again, sure, yeah. Again, I'm going to read this again. When you meet Mr. Yakamoto, be very polite. He is a very important client. It is Japanese custom to bow. Should I do that? No, you don't have to bow. Just say, pleased to meet you, and shake hands. Okay. Don't make your handshake too firm. Japanese people usually have a softer handshake. And when he leaves, what then? Just say it was nice meeting you and shake his hand again. Okay, that's fine. So now, here this is, as we said, a convert. Was that clear, Ahmed? Was that clear for you, Ahmed? Okay, very good. Now, very good. So now, before we start doing this together, so here, as we said, this is a conversation between the manager and a colleague. A colleague is your friend who works with you at the same place. So what does it talk about? What is the main idea? What's happening here? Who could tell me? We have a conversation between the manager and a colleague, right? What's happening here? Who asks and who answers? Hands up. Anyone?
So I think Tahani unmuted and Omar, no, Omar didn't.
Yeah, Omar is not muted.
There's Abdullah who just raised his hand.
Abdullah, go ahead, Abdullah. Tell us what's happening here. Who's asking and who's answering here? Hello, Abdullah, could you hear me? Yeah, Ahmed is answering in writing again. Ahmed says that the colleague is asking. Very good, Ahmed. So if the colleague is answered and the manager replies, very good, Ahmed. So Ahmed, why do you write all the time? Please talk to us, Ahmed. We want you to practice your language and talk to us, okay? I hope the next time you speak out loud. So what else? What else? Does anyone want to eat anything? Want to add anything here? No. Okay, so yes.
I will use my microphone.
Sure. Go ahead.
It's clear that the college asking the manager and the manager reply number 1 very polite. Number 2 is the Japanese custom, التقاليد.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to bow, just say please.
I think you can just leave the chance to someone else to answer. Thank you very much. So yeah, and by the way, the way we pronounce this word is colleague, not college. College is the place where you go to study and get your degree, like university. This one is colleague. Colleague is like your friend at work, your co-worker. Okay, so we say colleague. Okay, yeah, and the colleague. Thank you. And of course, as you said, the manager is the one who replies, who answers, because of course the manager has more experience, and the colleague, maybe he's still new, he doesn't have too much experience, so he's asking the manager and the manager is answering. So as you said, Ahmed, here, be very polite. He's a very important client. And then it's the Japanese custom to bow. Do you know what's the meaning of bow? Does anyone know what is the meaning of bow? Let's make sure that you know this word. What is the meaning of bow?
In honey.
Exactly, very good. So to do this,
Bend.
to bend, yeah, in sort of like to bend forward. Yeah, very good. Very good. Now, number 3, anyone answer, new participants? No, you don't have to bow, just say.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Very good. Nice to meet you.
And shake hands.
And shake hands. Very good. Okay, but don't make your handshake too
firm.
Very good. Too firm.
Sure.
Japanese people usually have a softer handshake. And when he leaves, what then meaning? What should I do here? What should I do after that? Just say.
It was nice to meet you, or please
meeting you. Yeah, it was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. And shake his hand again.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. So I hope that this was really clear. So now, as we said, the most important thing here is, I said, like when you meet someone at the beginning of the meeting, you say, pleased to meet you, nice to meet you, nice meeting you. And then when you leave, it was nice meeting you. So at the beginning, pleased to meet you. At the end, it was here like this past tense, because this is already at the end of the meeting. So the meeting has become something in the past. So we say it was nice meeting. Pleased to meet you at the beginning. If you want to say nice to meet you, you could also say nice to meet you, but you use was at the end, because meaning that already the meeting has finished. So the meeting now has become something in the past. It was nice meeting. Okay? Any questions so far? Does anyone have any questions? Questions? Okay. Very good. Now, here, this is something very important, which is also related to what we just listened to now. We listened to the manager and the colleague, right? So the colleague was asking all the time, and the manager was answering, right? So what was the manager doing actually? He was what? He was giving
advice.
Yeah, he was giving advice. Okay.
I think it would be great if anybody who would like to answer raised their hands. So it would make it more arranged and organized.
Sorry, madam. This is first time I'm using this platform. Where can the icon show me how to raise my hand? Or
I believe it's next to your username.
Sadiq.
It's okay. Just go to the participants. في علامة people شخصين.
Okay.
اضغط عليها بتحصل raise hand. But if you want, you can also participate using the chat box.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is when a participant here. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So as we were just saying here, the manager was answering the questions of the colleague, right? So the colleague needed advice, okay? You know what the meaning of advice? Like if you don't know what to do about something, you ask for advice, okay? Ask for an opinion from a more experienced person. So here the manager was giving advice. So when you give advice, there are certain ways of giving advice in English, okay? Especially if you want to sound formal, okay? No, now you can choose any of these 3 ways to give advice. You tell someone you should. So you should is a very important word in English. We call it a modal verb, and it is used when you are telling someone what is the right thing to do. So you don't tell them you must, because you must doesn't sound very polite. It sounds very bossy, okay? So the good thing, the good word to use is to say you should. Should means that you are giving advice, okay? The second one here is if I were you, I would. Again, would is similar to should, is what we call a modal verb, and it's a formal way, okay, of talking. Maybe you don't use the same structures when you're talking to your friends or to your family, but when you are talking in a formal context, you're talking to someone who works with you, you are talking to another business partner, those are the things that you should use. You should to give advice, or you say, if I were you. If I were you means if I were in your place, I would do so and so. So here it means that the right thing to do, if I were in your place, the right thing to do is so and so. So you could either say you should, or if I were you, I would, and then you give your advice. For example, you say you should be polite. If I were you, I would be polite. You should shake hand softly. If I were you, I would shake hands softly. So those are structures that you use before giving advice. And now finally, we have my advice is to, again, for example, you can say my advice is to shake hands softly. So those are 3 different ways of giving advice. Okay, it's very important to be able, as I said, to use your language, okay, in different ways to communicate the same meaning. So this shows that you have got language, you have rich vocab, okay, and you could communicate your meaning in different ways. Okay, now I want 2 of you to volunteer. Let's, for example, like have someone to be the manager and another one to be the colleague, and we want to have a conversation similar to the conversation between the manager and here the colleague. Okay, I want one of you to be the colleague and to ask the manager, and then I want the manager to answer using those structures to practice giving advice. Who would like to volunteer? Raise hands, please. Does anyone want to participate, like to practice your speaking skills?
You can raise your hands from the participants window.
Just go to your name and just raise hand if you'd like to be part of the conversation.
Or you can just tell us in the chat box that you would like to participate. So we have many people. Anybody would like to participate? We have Omar, we have Mona, we have Ibrahim. Ibrahim, would you like to participate?
Ahmed raised his hand.
Okay.
And someone else. Let's have one of the ladies. What do you think? I want one of the ladies also to participate. Who'd like to participate? Nobody? Ahmed, and who else?
Tahani, could you please unmute yourself?
Very good. So now we're going to have Ahmed and Tahani. Who's going to be the manager and who's going to be the colleague?
It's okay. Never mind.
Tahani, what would you like to be, Tahani?
Manager, okay.
The manager, okay. So Tahani is the manager.
Why should be manager and a colleague? Maybe a parent and the son.
Okay.
I I am a parent.
You want to be the parent? Okay, but we wanted to do something similar to this. The reason I said manager and colleague, because like a manager and colleague means a business context, and this is about business English. That's it. This is the idea, Ahmed. Okay, that's it. This was my.
I will say to my son, when you meet a stranger, as Uncle Fulani Fulani, be polite. He is a neighbor.
Okay, but as you do this, I want you to make sure that you are using those structures. I'm going to leave those structures here in front of you for both of you, Tahani and Ahmed, and I want you to start a conversation, okay? So that you use those 3 structures for giving advice.
Okay, I will say to Tahani, my son, or my girl, you should help your younger sister, younger brother.
Okay.
You should help your sister.
Okay, very good. So now, this is one of the structures you use. Now, Tahani, you said, Tahani, that now suppose for the second one, suppose Tahani now is a manager. Now, Tahani, you're the manager now, and I want you to give advice to Ahmed about anything that has to do with your work, with your business. So think of something, Tahani, and tell him, please.
Now I'm the manager. Okay. I would say you should finish your paperwork today.
Very good. Now you should. So Ahmed used you should, and you two used you should. Now Tahani, could you use this different structure? The second one, if I were you, I would.
If I were you, I would finish my paperwork today.
Okay, thank you. Now, last one, my advice is to. Now Ahmed and Tahani. Anybody else who would like to participate in this?
There's Sardar. He's answering through the chat box.
Yeah, I'm gonna read Sardar answers. You should play football. So like as if.
And there's El Siddiq also, who raised his hand.
Okay, so I'm gonna read Sardar's answers, and then we'll move on to Sadr. You should play football. So this is an advice for someone to do sports. My advice is to tidy yourself. Okay, like tidy yourself, like you tidy, you make your room tidy, because tidy actually is an adjective, so you cannot say to tidy. Okay, if I were you, I would give you a gift. Very good. So you're happy with someone, for example, so you're telling them, if I were you, I would give you a gift. Thank you. Now, Sadr, you have something, you had your hand raised, Sadr. So could you, Sadr?
Yes, my advice to you is to sleep earlier, because tomorrow you have a lot of work to do.
Very good. So my advice is to sleep early, because we have lots of work to do. Very good. This is really interesting. So thank you, everybody. Now, the last thing we're going to do now is another thing which is based on what we have been saying. Again, you must be polite. This is another thing which is, again, it has to do with giving advice. You must be polite. Here, you must be polite, as I said. It shows that something which is very important. Here, you must, as I said, must sounds a bit bossy. Okay, it's not very common to use must unless it is a rule. Like, for example, you must be polite. You want to stress to the worker that it's very important for him to be polite, or you want to stress, to emphasize for your little kid that he must be polite. It is the custom to don't make your handshake too firm. Again, those are other different ways about giving advice. Those are two things about giving advice about things you should do. The last thing is things that you should not do. So those are two things you should do. This is a thing that you shouldn't do, because it has don't. Don't make your handshake too firm. Don't smoke. Don't use your mobile phone during class, and so on. Okay, now here, this is the last thing I'm going to do today, is about an employee manual. So this is a protocol for employees who are working in a company called UniWorks about greeting clients. So I want you to read this, and from what we've said today, try to guess what should be the correct answers here. I'm gonna give you like 1 minute to go over this. When greeting clients, you must always, and then with American clients, with Japanese clients, when you greet the client, say, when the client leaves, say something and something. So this is a summary of all what we've done today. So who would like to start and do the first one? Chat box, chat box. Okay, participants.
I think Ahmed Zayed has raised his hand, and Tahani also has raised her hand.
Yeah, let's start with and Sadiq. What about the others? Is only those three people who are working all the time, new faces, new participants? Okay, we're gonna start in turn. Ahmed, Tahani, and Sadiq. Okay, let's go ahead. First one, Ahmed. When greeting clients, you must always.
When greeting clients, you must always polite.
Be polite. Don't forget your verb. You must always be polite.
Right.
The following one, Tahani, with American clients. Tahani.
Shake
hands.
Shake hand.
Firm.
Firmly, yes.
Thank you. And Sadiq, with Japanese clients.
Yes, with Japanese clients, you have to bow.
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 Not really, not really. This was not written in the text.
Or shake hands softly, I think.
Very good, yeah, shake hands softly. And then when you greet the client, say, when you greet the client, so when you meet someone, you say what?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, or pleased to meet you. Very good. And then the last one, when the client leaves, say something and something. Two things. What do you say at the end of the meeting?
It was nice to meet you.
It was nice meeting you, and very good. You remembered was, because was, this means that you finished the meeting. The meeting now has become something in the past. It was nice meeting you, and then what do you say?
Hands.
Okay, what else? Something that you say, because it says say, so you say something and something. You say
goodbye. See you soon. Goodbye.
I hope to see you soon. Yeah. So it was nice meeting you, and I hope to see you again soon. Very good. Okay, so now does anyone have any questions on this? So like this is a summary of all the things that we said. Different cultures have different greeting customs. Greetings here, like pleased to meet you. It was nice meeting you. And then when you give advice, you should. If I were you, I would. My advice is to. Okay. Now
Al-Sadiq has raised his hands.
Have a question, Al-Sadiq? Go ahead, please. Yes, Al-Sadiq.
Due to the time,
no, just I forget it from the first time. So sorry, it's by mistake. Okay. Sorry.
So now we'll come to an end. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting all of you today. And now I'm gonna hand this over to Ruqayya and Mariam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Heba.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Heba, and thank you for all of the participants who helped us answering questions today. And so for now, regarding the evaluation and the certificate, we will send you an email for the evaluation. Once you do the evaluation and attend 2 sessions, we will send you the certificate as a PDF file through your email. And let me just, I would like to share my screen first. Yes, this one, okay. Okay, so let me just move to the next slide. Okay, so we will be sending you the certificate as a PDF. file, and we would like to announce that we have more than 35 subjects related to English for business professionals provided by Arkan Administrative Training Center. If you would like to know anything about those, you can contact us via email or via phone. You can contact us by using the information provided on the slide. And thank you so much for attending today. Thank you so much, Ruqayya and Dr. Hiba. It was an amazing presentation and an amazing class. And we're pleased to receive your inquiries and your requests via our channels. Thank you so much. We would like to see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you again, Dr. Hiba and Mariam, for this amazing session. To answer Sardar, I think this is how you pronounce your name. The next lecture will be Saturday. We will be having a lecture every Saturday, inshallah, from 6 to 7 p.m. the same time. And if you have any questions or any inquiry, as Mariam said, you can contact us via the phone 33455-968, or you just can send us an email info@arkan.com.qa, and we will get you shortly as soon as possible. Thank you again, Dr. Hiba. It was very nice meeting you. Thank you everyone who attended today's session. We are pleased to be here for you. And have a nice day or nice night. I'm sorry. And thank you very much. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.